Good morning, everybody. It's time for another episode of Live Trading. We got no Mitch today, so it's just going to be me and you. Hopefully, we're going to have a good one. I'll see you in there.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Those words have been dancing around my head all night. Oh, it's Vegas lore, that phrase.
All right. Hello, everybody. Let me get back to the comments here. It is Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. And we are back for another episode of Live Trading. We are going to have a great time today. We are short Mitch today. So Mitch asked me yesterday, hey, I can't make it. I've got something coming up. He'll be fine. And he'll be back tomorrow. He said, I got something coming up. Do you want to cancel? And I said, ain't nobody out here wants to cancel. So we're going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to be leaning on you folks today. For some more trading ideas and all of that. We've got Trade the Pool here. We've got Benzinga Pro here. Let's go ahead and get into it. So good morning. I see a whole bunch of returning faces. John Investing asking here early, is the market going to be up or down today? Well, let's consult the 8-ball and find out. My personal feeling is that I think we're going to be down today. I think that that's what kind of makes sense. So yeah. I think the market ends up going down today. Let's go ahead and take a look at some things out there. Can't wait to hear about what you folks are looking at or trading. I'm sure SLNO is going to be on that list. I'm sure of it. So I have not traded that. I would just say be very, very careful about that. Let's go ahead and take a look at the market. So we're going to start off here with the SPY. The peasants rejoice as the SPY moves into the purple shaded area, and Ryan's call from several months ago finally is starting to materialize. The interesting thing that we got here, remember yesterday I talked about, hey, we've been selling off pretty ferociously. We might actually bounce here. Looks like we did bounce, and that bounce was short-lived. So not really surprised to see it. Hopefully that bounce didn't suck in a bunch of the bulls to the long side, only to flush them out on the backside of the move. As we continue here in the purple shaded area. Now we'll see where we end up going today. I don't have any positions for these indices or for these ETFs on. I'm basically just kind of watching it and then figuring out trades from that. Let me go ahead and hide this comment. So just kind of watching the market, wanting to see where we go. I'm still in a bearish stance here. I still think the market needs to come back in a little bit more. I wouldn't be shocked if we kind of chopped around and maybe traded sideways a little bit in this area. So let's see if we end up getting that here today. As far as new opportunities, yes, there are going to be several here today. The first one we're going to start off with is obviously going to be SLNO. Let me go ahead and add my VWAP on here. SLNO, we do have a catalyst here today. SLNO therapeutic shares are trading higher after the company released top-line results from randomized withdrawal period of study C602 and DCCR for Prader-Willi syndrome. So we're getting positive data here. Biotech company. This thing yesterday was $4.50. It is currently 21 and change right now. So you can see there's been a number of legs up here. What I'll say with moves like this, I know that this is going to attract a lot of eyeballs. I know that there's going to be a lot of people out there. There's going to be people on both sides of this trade here today, right? There's going to be people trading this long, and there's going to be people that are trying to short this. And I'll be honest, stock that's up 385% probably could use some regression to the mean. So I think that the shorters are probably going to have a day. It's not easy to do that. It's totally possible that this stock spikes to 30 before it ends up reversing. So the only point that I'm making here is just be very, very careful with this one, no matter what side of the trade you go in. I don't think I'm going to trade this. What are you doing? You're going to make it more difficult for me today? You're going to make it more. Let's see if Buddy makes it more difficult for me today, hosting the show on my own. SLNO, I don't think I'm going to trade this today. The only way I think that this is tradable is buying pullbacks. You've got to wait for this thing to pull back in. And you've got to wait for this thing to kind of stabilize before you can actually take a stab at it. And even then, I think it's going to be dangerous. So just be very, very careful with SLNO. That is raging here today. And we've got a couple more that are going crazy here. Next one is going to be Femi, right? This is ticker FEMY. Femi here. This actually popped as high as 150. It's really kind of come back in, but we're still above the VWAP. Femisys shares are trading higher after the company received FDA 510K clearance for Femicide, an infertility treatment. So there you go. You're getting positive FDA clearance on an infertility treatment. Volume looks great here on Femi. This was a penny stock yesterday. This was 30 cents. Stock's now $1.17 here today. So another one up several 100%, 252% here in the pre-market. Again, just be careful with these. These are extremely extended already. But that momentum might actually give a trade here. So I'm going to go over the comments here in a sec. I just want to go through a couple more of these real quick just to get us ready. ICPTA, was this an actual buyout? Yes, this was a buyout. By the way, it's funny. This is getting bought out at 19 a share years ago. Let's see if we can actually pull chart data for that. Let's go to a weekly chart. I was going to say years ago, this stock was in the 400s. My memory doesn't really serve me all that well, in the 300s. And here it is getting acquired for 19. So really, really rough chart on the way down there. But I digress. ICPT, probably nothing going on here with the acquisition under it. Next is going to be Immunovant. This is ticker IMVT, India Mike Victor Tango. We have another catalyst here. Immunovant shares are trading higher after the company announced the initial IMVT 1402 phase 1 SAD and 300 milligram subcutaneous MAD results. I don't even know what that is. Boy, you want to embarrass yourself? Just try reading a whole bunch of medical terms that you're not familiar with in front of a group of people. That's one way to really kind of wake yourself up here in the morning. Anyway, IMVT, this did pop as high as 35 and change. It pulled all the way back on its first pullback to 26, and here we are at about 32. Good news here is that this is kind of riding the VWAP. So we can probably use the VWAP to determine whether or not this trade is working for us. I would imagine as long as we build above the VWAP and stay above the VWAP, you're probably okay for a long trade here. If you are taking a long trade here, I would watch a snap of the VWAP. If you're going to wait for a pullback on this one, again, you want to wait for a confirmation of a hold as opposed to trying to buy a falling knife there. That's probably not going to go too well. So IMVT, this one also on the deck here, or on deck here today. Now, one of the other stocks that's moving here is going to be Roivant. We've traded this one quite a bit, and we've actually traded this one recently. Goodbye, buddy. Nice to see you this way. He's going to go take a nap now. Roivant, this is ticker ROIV. We've traded this a number of times off the relative volume scanner recently. It's actually acted pretty well. Friday, we actually got a really good dip and then a potential trade there as it came back to balance. Stocks actually moved quite a bit here. Big pop here today. Roivant shares are trading higher after the company announced its initial. I already read that. I'm sorry about that. This one was also mentioned with IMVT. So this one kind of related to IMVT, which means if one of those moves, you should be able to watch the other one and see what it's doing. They might move together. They might decouple at some point. That might also produce an opportunity for a trade. So Roivant here, congrats if you were somehow swinging this or holding this. I know that this has been on deck. What it feels like a couple weeks ago at this point. Someone correct me if I got the timeline there, but I feel like it was a couple weeks ago. Roivant has been on and off the relative volume scanner. Big pop here today. Next is going to be Bullfrog AI. This is another one of the AI names. We traded this one quite a bit during the AI. What do we want to call it? Phase, bubble, mania, whatever it is that you want to call it. BFRG, Bullfrog AI, one of those. We did pop as high as almost 440, 438, your high print there, all the way back down to 322. We are below the VWAP. So I think maybe as long as this holds, if we get any type of buying volume and move to the upside, first move here to the VWAP likely on deck. So we'll see if we get that here in Bullfrog. Taking a look at the news. From today, Bullfrog announces positive data from a preclinical study evaluating novel prodrug, and I'm going to try this one, mebendazole for treatment of glioblastoma. Okay, see, we're warming up. We just need to warm up a little bit here. Then we can try to pronounce some of these names. So anyway, Bullfrog really need to show some more upside momentum to trade this here today. I know we got that initial pop. We also got that drop right afterwards. Now we're kind of below the VWAP. So really want to see this kind of firm up and give us some more strength today. We'll see if we can get going there. Let me move over to my main chart here so we can watch the scanner. Let me go through the chat. I know I'm sorry. I'm sorry. With only one of me here, it's going to, with only one of me, with only one person here. I'm going to be leaning on the chat, but sometimes if I'm going into things, I won't be able to kind of follow the chat as closely as I normally do. So SS trades traded SLNO in pre-market 11.19 to 20. All right, so you've had a big winner before the market even opens. That's pretty amazing. SS trades, glad that you didn't actually have any pain with that trade. That could always just be careful. And here's the other thing. The other thing is when you get moves like this, and I don't know if this affects the rest of you, but this absolutely affected me, especially when I was newer. It's still something that I kind of think about. When you get some of these stocks that produce these just absolutely gigantic moves like SLNO did, you're going to see a lot of posts on different financial media about how much people made and this and that and the gain and all of that. And I'm telling you that contributes to FOMO. Your best bet here is going to be to do whatever you can to kind of fight that, right? If you have any type of system or any type of way of trading stuff that's volatile like that, stick to it, right? Don't necessarily go to trade something just because you see someone on the internet made a whole bunch of money on it. That's a recipe for disaster, as they say. So just be careful with that. If you have a system, stick to your system, stick to your plan. But great job there this morning, SS trades. Let's go, Ryan. Let's go, Ryan. Thank you guys for the support. Really appreciate it. That's Chris, Wiss, Rustam, Crow, Becca, Kel, Explodus. You guys are Beach Bum, Jay Summers. Yeah, we got everybody here. Sydney out to here. Trade the Pool. Gil is here. Gil, thank you for the tickers. Let's review these tickers here real quick, and I'll keep trying to catch up with the chat here. Gil, Trade the Pool. Hot stocks here today. First one is going to be DKNG. This is going to, of course, going to be DraftKings. I don't have the Donkey Kong sound drop on my soundboard like Mitch does, so apologize if you folks were waiting for that. Donkey Kong here, that we will call it that. Maybe a potential bounce spot, right? This last year when we saw this right after the season started, DraftKings or the NFL season started, excuse me. DraftKings kind of sold off. Now it'll be interesting to see if we get the same type of thing here this year. Of course, we do have basketball and hockey starting, so that would lead me to believe there's going to be more bets placed as there's just more sports leagues going on. We'll see if that actually translates to a higher stock price. Good news here is that this is actually a pretty decent bounce spot. We do have a catalyst this morning. DraftKings shares trading higher after JP Morgan upgraded the stock from neutral to overweight and raised its price target from $26, which is just about where it's at, $37, which would be over this recent high that it made. So DraftKings, this one definitely interesting. Appreciate that, Gil. Let's look at the next one here, which is going to be Baba. This is, of course, Alibaba. If we take a look at the intraday chart here, Alibaba had a really decent day yesterday on that bounce day, and today has some more weakness. Now, I didn't see any news for Alibaba here today. Alibaba to spin off logistics unit in Hong Kong IPO. Okay, so interesting. So something else is going on here. I should probably actually go through this news article. Shame on me for not doing that prior to us getting live here. Announced that the company intends to spin off by way of separate listing in the casino shares in the main board of Hong Kong. Okay, so I'll ask my China guy later today what this might mean for Alibaba. Not actually sure how the PR is going to affect this long term, but that's okay. We can still kind of trade the price action here. First things first, if this does trade down to 86, it's only 37 cents away from that. If it does trade down to that 86 level, you might get another bounce like we saw already in the pre-market. Let's see what happens and what the volume looks like when the market actually opens here today. And then last on Gil's list here, of course, it's the one and only Tesla, which is going to make the hot stock list every single day, it seems. Tesla, really volatile action on the way up yesterday. I think a couple of you folks traded it yesterday, hopefully with some success. Today, a little bit weaker in the pre-market, but we are producing a double bottom here. So if the market catches or if it starts to trade up right after the open here, Tesla might be part of that. And if you can get it near a support area, that actually might be a fairly decent trade. So Tesla here. Okay. Let me go through the chat here real quick. Thank you, Gil, by the way. Sydney giving us some color here on some of the smaller moves. Femi has started making money. SLNO languished prior, so there you go. Jay Rice, good morning, my man. Arnaz, yesterday's winners, today's losers. Why I don't trade this junk. Let's pull up Arnaz. Fair enough. And like I said, my big thing is trying to find the easy trades. And I fully admit day trading is hard. It's harder than swing trading, especially when the market is conducive to swing trading, which it really isn't right now, at least in my opinion, for the stuff I'm looking at. And Jay's right here. This is junk. And yesterday this thing had an absolutely monster move, but this is what day traders live for, right? I felt that this was too volatile for me. There were too many halts. I didn't really have a good setup, didn't really have a good plan of attack for this one. So I opted not to trade it. That kept myself safe. I know that there were a bunch of people in here that traded it, and I'm pretty sure that some people made some money on this. Hopefully nobody got hurt. Nobody admitted to getting hurt. So I don't think so. In any case, just be very careful with some of this stuff. The smaller names, this is often what you're going to see. And so a lot of the times when you guys see me executing this scalping strategy, this is predominantly why. It's these small names that really can put in some extreme movements and give you some good trades. But as Jay was saying here, a lot of them are junk, and they're going to come back in after that move is done or exhausted. So if you have gains, don't be afraid to take them. That's just how this game goes. And sometimes you're going to take a gain and the stock's going to keep going. And hey, look back on that and say, I made money. I didn't lose money. This could have been worse. So again, with these smaller names, my strategy, I understand that they're junk. I'll trade junk in some cases, but I'm looking for small stackable gains in these. And we did get that yesterday with Arnaz. Okay, let me keep rolling through here. Ryan, you're going to make it awesome. Rustam, I absolutely love your positive attitude, my man. We need more of that in this world. Thank you for being here, and thank you for spreading that. Really appreciate it. And it doesn't just go for Rustam. Smoke Tuna, Crow, you guys have positive attitudes every day, and I cannot thank you enough for it. By the way, speaking of Arnaz here, there is a potential that this stock bounces today. We did have a PR here, or a piece of news here, that they're trading lower. If the company reported an $8 million public offering at 51 cents a share, stock's currently at 84. So just be very careful. I'm staying away from Arnaz. I'm just saying, for those of you that are still watching it. I think Crow, yeah, still have Arnaz on my watch list. Okay. All right, market's open. Let's see where we're going. I love all of you for being here. Thank you so much for all of the support. Lynn says, Ryan rocks. Here with you, friend. Yeah, hockey. I know. I can't wait. I ordered my authentic Connor Bedard jersey. I can't wait for them to ship that. Oh, that's going to be awesome. Okay, right out of the gate here, we're getting a couple of halt warnings in Trade the Pool. These are on some of these smaller names. Gil, if you're out there, is there any way I can disable that? Because I do have to click through that a number of times, and I'd like to just simply avoid that if possible. All right, let's see what's going on here. It looks like I'm not getting option results yet, but that's likely to change here. Femi, first move here. First move here is down. Actually, this looks pretty enticing. There's a pullback right to that. What is that? The 65 EMA, and a nice little bounce here on Femi. No position. I want to trade today. I feel really good about trading. But with all of the soloing, the show duties here, we'll see if that actually happens. I really don't want to put myself in trouble here. Femi going higher here. Watch for a pre-market breakout off the top here on Femi. And there we go. We got it. So Femi moving here. They actually bring in a bid in here. It's going to be halted at 134 if it holds here. Tons of stock trading here on Femi. Wow, what a dip to that moving average and an absolute rip. 20-cent pop into an upside halt. Femi is halted. Femi is halted. Okay. Let me actually bring up Let me just check on some of these other ones. IMVT, this going towards the highs here. Looks like this might take out the pre-market highs. Roivant doing the same thing. BFRG popping here, looking like this is doing our regression to the VWAP that we talked about earlier. Becca calling AVGR. Boy, there's a lot going on this morning, isn't there? There's a lot going on this morning. Let's see. AVGR popping out of the gate here. We'll see if it takes yesterday's intraday high on AVGR. Okay, let's go through this. Oh, Born. Sorry about the game this week. You know what, Born? We call that a good old-fashioned butt whooping, is what we call that. For those of you that aren't aware of what I'm talking about, Born is in the Happy Hour Fantasy League. Him and I played each other this last week, and he put me in the hurt locker. I think he ended up beating me by what, like 50 points? He had an absolutely ridiculous performance out of some of your Dolphins players. And I didn't have a chance. Gil, trade the pool. Regarding your question, Ryan, not at the moment, but we're on it, so it will be possible. That's absolutely what I love to see. Gil, I'll say this. One of the things that we do here at Benzinga is we listen to the customers and we do updates to our software based on their demands. I believe that's the exact way to go. Looks like you folks are doing the exact same thing and you're on top of it. Love it. Absolutely love it. Okay, let's get back to things here. Looks like that first move, Femi still halted. Let me actually go to trade the pool here. There's what is the way to do this again? I forgot. See, and without Mitch here. Oh, you know what we'll do? Here, I'll go back to this and I'll just do this. Solo layout. Boom. Boom. All right, I'll see if I can figure out which camera. I think it's this one. No. Okay. Well, we're just going to have to do solo layout for right now. Let's go ahead and check. I did want to take a look at SLNO. I'm pretty sure, by the way, all of these are in trade the pool here. SLNO. The first move here is down. It's already trying to bounce. Again, we already talked about this being really risky. I'm likely not going to trade it, but I'm going to still try to analyze it here. I would definitely wait for a pullback a little bit closer to the VWAP. Whether it's a touch or not, that's going to be up to you and your risk profile. But I would not necessarily want to be faked out by this candle. We'll see. Maybe I'm wrong here. Maybe I'm wrong on SLNO. SLNO is halted now. Halted. That is another one that is halted. Okay, let me go ahead and go through the chat here again. Carmen, good to see you this morning, Carmen. I'm playing BFRG since I own it already. FYI, per the service I pay for, BFRG has been a top 5 for a squeeze. So Carmen giving you some inside information there, has a service that she pays her hard-earned money for, saying that, hey, BFRG, possible squeeze candidate here. Now, that one is not in trade the pool. So let me roll back here real quick to Benzinga Pro. We'll take a look at what the BFRG chart looks like. Let me jostle this here. There we go. Okay, so what's interesting here is there actually a pullback here to the 200 EMA. This is actually a decent bounce spot here, BFRG. See if we end up getting that, BFRG. All right. Clear away some notifications here. Got all types of stuff going on here. BFRG actually a decent spot here for a potential bounce. I would actually, for a potential trade here, I would trade this against this 317 level. Here we are at 317. Maybe a breakdown here. To me, I wouldn't want it to set a new low here. To me, I feel like it would lose that. Let's take a look at DKNG. This is one of Trade the Pool's hot stocks here. Had a nice little pop out of the open, pull back to that same 200 EMA and a bounce here. DKNG looking like this is trying to go higher here. Okay. Slight less wisdom. I wonder if that's related to the other wisdom that we have here. What was up with SE yesterday? Okay, SE, that is C Limited. If we take a look here, you can see this actually had a huge move. What, 35 all the way up to 41? Let's take a look and see what kind of news we had yesterday. Indonesia to bring rule on e-commerce social media app? Maybe. I did have to know a little bit more about that. Real quick, by the way, Femi is open here. Let me go back to that. Sorry. Femi open here. Looks like it did pop higher, came back in a little bit, but still some momentum. We'll see if we can go higher here. A lot of stock traded at that 140 level. There was definitely some size there coming back. Ooh, okay. So big flush here. They actually had a pretty big offer there or bid there, excuse me, at 30 that just got eaten. Stock here at 125 now, going to get halted to the downside here. Femi halted to the downside. Careful, Femi's halted. Sydney, yes, it is raining here today as well. We actually have heavy rain here in the northern suburbs. So I'm okay with it. All I have to do is stay in here today. So I'm okay with that. FSR, someone was mentioning FSR earlier in the chat. Let me see if I can pull that up. Okay, so FSR, decent pullback here. 13, I don't think 13's here. 13 was on this as a potential long. Actually, a decent bounce spot here on Fisker. We'll see how this ends up going. Trading higher after the company announced its deliveries are set to ramp up. So that definitely a positive. Let's see if they can actually deliver on that promise. Femi is already halted again. We do. Here we go. I was going to say, and actually, let me reapply this filter. I think that got cleared away again. Boom. Take a look at some order flow here. How are we doing on this? It looks like First Solar puts coming in. Okay, First Solar moving to the lows here. Would imagine that this would continue as long as interest rates are higher or interest rates are raising. Solar probably not this place to be. Probably not going to do a solar conversion when interest rates are that high. Certainly not going to finance it, or would rather wait that out. Just my hunch there on the solar names. This trading down. It'd be interesting to see how's EMPH doing. Enphase, chart looks exactly the same, down another 2% here today on Enphase. Faro Towers wants to know if Disney is oversold. Not in my opinion, but I have a very bearish opinion of Disney. You weren't asking for my personal opinion anyway. You were asking for the objective look at it. Technically, no. We have an RSI reading on the daily chart of 38. So technically oversold territory would be 30 or lower. Chart looks really bad in a clear downtrend here, but no, technically not oversold. I'm not interested in Disney for a long. I actually think Disney could come in a little bit more from where it's at. Jason says, DIS avoid. I'm not giving advice or recommendations, but I would agree with this opinion. All right, let's see what else is moving on there. Lynn is saying Tesla's moving. We have seen that. This is, again, one of the hot stocks off the trade the pool. Tesla, big pop here. Like I said, I cannot figure out how to actually take advantage of this. If you guys can actually verbalize it, I'd be interested in trying it. I keep getting my hat handed to me on Tesla. I absolutely hate trading the stock, but it is moving here today. IMVT, we did actually take out that pre-market high. We kind of came back. Let's see if we go even higher here. You penny players, THAR, it looks like THAR, trying to bounce off of these pre-market lows. This actually measures correctly with the other pre-market lows. That 29 cent looks like a decent bounce spot. This is a big old pass for me on this one. ADPT going higher here. DraftKings still kind of flirting with a potential breakout here. Let's see how SLNO is doing. SLNO looking like this is going to try to go. Okay, I've got to turn these notifications off. This is crazy. Pause notifications. Okay. Okay. We keep rolling through here. Sorry, trying to keep up with everything that's going on. IMVT. I haven't seen anything. I've seen stocks that are moving, but I haven't necessarily seen anything that makes me want to trade it yet today. I don't see any great trade setups. Don't see really anything great here on the Twitter streets either. Okay. So we're getting a report here. Here, let me actually link this. So Tesla, we were just talking about a Tesla move there, seeing this on Twitter. Actually, let me turn the squawk on just in case. I'm going to link this article here in the chat. This is Tesla reportedly ramps up partnership with Taiwan Semiconductor for its to produce the Dojo the D1 Dojo chip, which I guess one of the chips that they use in the Tesla cars there. So can I switch these? No, I can't. So anyway, that's the Tesla catalyst here. Let me see if I can bring that up. Let me actually go back to trade the pool here. Let me remove this full screen. There we go. See, I'm getting the hang of it. So here's SLNO. This really, again, one of the things, as soon as the market opened, obviously we had a pullback. We popped back into a halt. Now we're pulling back to that same level. This sideways action here is one of the reasons why I was saying just wait till this gets closer to the VWAP. To me, there's just no point in trying to be a hero here. This certainly looks like it's going to roll over. It's extremely extended. Why not just wait this out? Why not just be patient here? That to me seems to be like the good play. I don't know. Let's take a look at Tesla here. Tesla, nice little, that bounce really cleared right through the VWAP. Let's see if this gets back to VWAP. That might give us some entry there. Becca calling FSR. FSR, yeah. This after that dip, that actually kept going. When we checked this before, it's got back to balance. This actually kept going. SLNO looks like that is halted now. Let's see. Yes, SLNO halted here. Easy Mike, good to see you this morning. You're talking about LabU. LabU, nice little move here for those biotechs. Okay, looking around here, folks. I'm looking around here, folks. Just taking a look at stocks that people are suggesting. Kano, this is the penny stock from yesterday. This actually, I believe, didn't this have a decent move yesterday? Yeah, I had a nice little move at the beginning of the day, then was pretty dormant the rest of the day. Looking like we're seeing another early move here. I'm going to pass on Kano. I don't need any of this penny stock action this early in the day. BFRG, this is Carmen's. I'm just going to call it that. I don't know if it's yours or not. Oh, that's right. It's not in trade the pool. Darn. BFRG, though, really held that level so far. Trying to curl back up, but I would here. Let me actually get this off the. There we go. So here's BFRG. You can see here, just trying, but still kind of weak here. I'm still looking for my first trade this morning, folks. Dip opportunity on Femi. Says Wist. Let's take a look at that. Okay. So yes, this is decent call here, Wist. I really, I'm a little nervous that we actually broke this right here. This is the spot right here. Is what 110? 110. There's size there. Ooh, and they broke it to the downside and they refilled it. That might be a spot that they brought in more buy orders there at 110. They're trying to push it off this level. Here we go. Maybe a bounce here on Femi. Just be careful with this one. 110, the spot to trade this against. CGC looking like this is going to make an attempt at the pre-market high. Cannabis names still strong. How are the other cannabis names doing? Tilray. Oh, really? Tilray not as strong. CGC seems to be the leader there. Femi still trying to grind up here. Really held that 110 spot. 110 spot. That's the spot in the line in the sand, as they say. Minimize Twitter streets here real quick. All right. What are you folks in? What are you folks seeing? Anybody trading anything? Femi popping here. That was a great bounce spot there on Femi. Look at this. Is Femi in trade the pool? Maybe we can get that rolling here. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. This little late for me on this trade, but we'll wait this one out. Yeah, Jason, I'm in the same boat. I don't really see a whole lot that I'm interested in. This Femi bounce was decent, but just wasn't prepared for it. Let's see if I can figure out some other. Here's FSR. This is still going higher here. Great call. You're a number of you were on this. Becca, I think you were on this. SS Trades looks like you're in this. Smoke Tuna, FSR. FSR trying to go higher here. Yeah, here. Let me remove Pro. Let's go full screen on Trade the Pool here. One of the things you can see here, we're actually running into some moving averages here. 50-day moving average and the 100-day moving average converging right there at about 601 on the 50, 604 on the 100. So right in that 3-cent area. Decent spot here on the daily chart if it breaks above. Femi flushing. Did you see new highs? Nice trade on VLO, Kevin. So Kevin, you were short Valero. Did I get that right? It's a little closed trade there. Wonder if this goes higher. By the way, BFRG, I can't show it on here, but BFRG, that was a really decent bounce there. A couple of nasty pulls before this decent bounce. So maybe a bit difficult. Next spots on BFRG, likely 335 and 340, by the way. Here, let me go back. Sorry, I'm jostling so much here. But let's go pull up BFRG. So coming up to that other spot here, 335. Got the view app at 338. So maybe just that 335 to 340-ish area. Gonna be some pretty good resistance. Apple at the lows, Amazon at the lows, market at the lows. Q's rolling over here. Looks like another down day here for the market, at least so far. SPY trying to go lower here. Futures pounding the lows. Be careful out there. Femi trying to curl here, but I'd be careful with that too. As Wiss was saying, that one looks pretty heavy. Could Femi bounce again? I'm keeping my eye on it. Yeah, of course it can, but it doesn't. I mean, it really does feel heavy. You want to wait for that. I mean, if you're going to try that, have a tight stop on it. You don't necessarily want to wait for it to confirm if it's only going to bounce 10, 15 cents. We've already seen that once here today, but it still feels heavy. I'd be careful. Who's on Lab U? Pro, is that you on Lab U? Maybe we get a little bit of a pullback here. Lab U looks pretty decent. All these biotechs getting acquired, really driving this higher. SPY new lows here, moving lower. Apple's trying to start a bounce here. We'll see if that catches. Still don't have anything great for a new trade setup. I don't like Femi. Fisker, maybe this pops above 6. This just feels extended. I'd rather wait for a pullback on Fisker. I do like this, though. Good call by you folks. Pharaoh calling Amazon. Amazon's just pounding the lows. I'm not sure what you're seeing there, Pharaoh, with just the ticker in that comment. Amazon pounding the lows here. What will be interesting is, hey, where could this bounce from? Looks like yesterday's intraday low. We already sailed through that. Looks like we actually broke this, what looks like a triple bottom here these past couple of days. Looks like we're actually beneath that now on Amazon. I don't see a trade here yet. Interested to hear your thoughts there, but I don't see a trade there yet. That looks dangerous. SPY going for yesterday's lows here. That's 428. We're currently at 428.60. SLNO is now open. So it looks like this came into the VWAP here. Let's see what this looks like and trade the pool. Okay, and I got a different, okay, this is kind of what I wanted to see here. I got a little bit of a different VWAP here in SLNO. I've got this one at 1630, price currently 18. BFRG moving back up to that VWAP. BFRG reclaiming that VWAP. Let's see if it can go higher here. Great call, Carmen. I'm sorry I didn't take that one. Great job waiting for that volume to come back in and trade. That's exactly what we want to do. Great job, Carmen. All right, SLNO. Okay, yeah, it is really. Look at the spread. Yeah, see, I can't even possibly trade that. Look at the side. Look at the spread. This is the other thing, by the way. This option and trade the pool, which I really like. This compressed spread. I like it. This is with it on. I like it off. This is with it on, where it doesn't show you. You kind of have to discern the spread from looking at the numbers. The stock spread 50 cents right now. 50. I actually like it with this off, so I can visualize that the spread is how wide the spread is. So just a monster spread here on SLNO. This one is just a little too risky for me. Gil calling Qs. All right, so here we go. Qs, these pounding the lows here. Really, question is, where do we think that this bounces? Anyone have any Q reversal spots for the group? Where would QQQ potentially bounce from? The low of the day, 355.90 so far. Jay, this is interesting. IWM is down the least, and the only index higher from the opening. KRE is barely down. What are you taking? What are you drawing from that? Yeah, Jason, this is kind of what I was asking for here. You're saying Q's at a support here. We're actually going for that low. By the way, Femi did bounce here. Femi bouncing here. Let's check on AVTX. There's a penny stock that's going higher here for you penny players. SE having another decent day here. Whoever asked about SE earlier. Did Fisker take 6 yet? Nope. Still flirting with that 6 level on Fisker. Watch that level. Smoke Tuna calling HE, Hawaiian Electric. And every time we take a look at this and it's trading up, it looks like it's trading up to or just through 13. It's like it really has trouble staying above that 13 level. At least that's what it seems to me. Hawaiian Electric, ticker HE. And by the way, I think it was Craig from a couple of days ago. My toll swing short, I'm still in this. Target was 75, but the trading and the price action here, it really, really seems like if you take a look at this daily chart, it really seems like this low is going to get tested. Stock price really feels heavy and feels like it's going to roll over here. And the reality is they still have 24 days left on those contracts. So if this retests this low and break, that'll probably be a place to close it or at least scale. Jay, I had asked you, your first comment here about IWM being down and down the least, and the only index higher from the opening, KRE barely down. I asked you what you took away from that. Really appreciate the answer here. Two things, Ryan. Higher rates bad for growth. IWM has a lot of banks. Banks are cheap compared to tech. So there you go. Interesting. That is really the bank trade for me been very, very difficult. I don't have any of them. You attempting to make some sense out of this right here. Higher rates definitely bad for growth. Definitely. And also not really good for tech, right? So wouldn't be surprised if banks. But the thing is like the banks, they really haven't even been great. And then the question is do you have another one that you think is going to fail and all of that? Yikes. Let's see. Apple really cracking, by the way, folks. This Apple really kind of breaking down here. If we look at the daily chart here, this 172 level, this is the spot to watch here. 172 on Apple, currently at 173. To Jay's point here, this is one of your tech darlings here, really selling off here. Let's take a look at KRE just to kind of get that. And KRE looking like this is going for the highs here. BFRG back to its VWAP. By the way, yesterday, I know as we're waiting for the SPY to bottom here, if it does, and if it's going to bounce, we'll be on top of that if that's the case. FZT is halted. Williams Sonoma, we talked about this one yesterday. This actually gave a great trade yesterday. I was telling you about some of the call action the activist stake, and this really kind of traded up. 150 was when this was really kind of being called at here. Had a little bit of a price discovery, but once it actually cleared that, we never looked back here. On Williams Sonoma, I mean, 100 shares, you could have made almost $1,000 just on 100 shares. Yesterday, we should have traded this one and trade the pool. That would have been a monster trade. Monster. Okay, looking around here again. Apple maybe finding a bottom. Maybe. SPY trying to bottom here at the same time. So maybe SPY bouncing off that 428 level. We outlined that at the beginning here. Smoke signal calling hollow. Nasty that's the daily chart there. Wish moving. Oh gosh. Look at this thing. Yeah, Femi, this held in here. This held in here. Femi actually pushing away from its VWAP. Sorry, looking around here still, folks. BFRG going for more highs here. Oops. Oh, there we go. Here's BFRG. Hello. BFRG new highs here, looking like it's going to try to take out that daily high. Carm, this was a great. This is probably the best trade here on that pull. I didn't take it. Nothing for me here. FSR over 6, you mentioned it? We were waiting for here. Indeed, we did pop above 6, pulling back to that 6 level. See if we can go higher here on FSR. Still looking around here. BFRG rejected at that high. Set a new high, immediately pulled. Up, SLNO. This is open, huh? Yeah, this is up. Nope, halted. Halted at 22.49. That's an upside halt, by the way. Man, SLNO, that's just wild. Wiss asking, Ryan, you ready for the Ryder Cup? Yes, sir, I am. I cannot wait. I'm actually going to get some bets placed on this Ryder Cup as well. Does it start Thursday, Wiss, or does it start Friday? I think it starts Thursday, like all the traditional tournaments, but I got to figure that out. But yes, I'm ready. I'm ready for some golf on TV. It's been several weeks now. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get out again this weekend. Wonder what the weather's going to be like. Oh, yeah. It's going to be warm. Yep. We will definitely hit the links on Saturday. Thursday evening Saturday starts at 1 a.m. on Friday. Okay. Okay. I will not be awake at 1 a.m., but I'll catch it when I wake up. SPY still looking to go lower here. Let me actually go back to trade the pool. I think if I just remove this, no, if I just do this, this is what I need to do. There we go. That's how we do it, folks. Okay. Hughes hitting the lows here. So that bounce very, very short-lived. Careful here. Tech going lower here. Jay talked about this right at the outset. Tech going lower. By the way, do we have banks making the opposite move, Jay? Is KRE continue? KRE is still near the highs, but not making new highs here. SPY pushing lower. Hughes pushing lower. No bottom found yet, folks. Not yet. Q's trying. Yeah, Apple moving with the rest of tech here. BFRG. All right, let's go back to it. Oh, I had SLNO up. I thought I had BFRG up. Let's see. BFRG, really volatile stuff here, but buying the pullbacks, that's been the trade that's worked. Yeah, Rick, this is great. I totally agree with this comment, Rick. Well, we talk a lot here about trying to keep your emotions in check and how emotions can really kind of ruin a trading day. For me, this might not be the case with everybody, but for me, halts they do test my emotions. When I lose the ability to control my trade, whether it, close it or size it or whatever, that messes with my emotions. And I'm never 100% sure that it's going to open higher out of a halt or lower out of a halt. I've seen both. I've seen them be dramatic. Totally agree, Rick. One of the things that I do is to just try and stay away from stocks that are halt fests. To me, that makes it easier for me to trade. Totally with you on this one. Chris calling a tech bounce here. Let's take a look at the Qs. We thought we already had one tech bounce earlier today that was immediately sold. Well, actually, it lasted for 2 minutes before it was sold. I guess I shouldn't say immediately. This is a nice little bounce back to that 15 EMA. See if we can actually break above that 355.92. What I have on that. Congrats, Carmen, on your BFRG trade. I would love to know what the overall entry and exit on that was. You were all over this. Congratulations, Carmen. That's funny because all I seem to buy are stocks that halt. Well, hey, if you're buying stocks before they halt and then they really start to take off, you can look at that in a positive. Smoke Tuna calling Joby. I haven't even looked at Joby here today. How's Archer doing? Archer about flat down at a $5 level. Joby here. This was much higher yesterday. It's trying here. It's trying to hold in here. What's FSR doing? Are still at 6, flirting with that level. Really can't push away from this, though. Roivant, maybe this going higher here on Roivant. Let's see if trade the pool. I think definitely has Roivant. SLNO is open. Here, let's go to that real quick. Oh my God, this is just crazy. Any of you guys trading this? 24.97 the high. Airs 25 prints. And they traded 25,000 shares at 25 there and got yanked an entire dollar. Let's see it go back up here to 25. Wild action here in SLNO. Up. SLNO coming back in here. See if it breaks this 23 level and plunges. Rick says, I'm in it. $19.27 buy-in for Rick. All right, so you got a pretty good price here at this point. Let's see if we get to 25. I'd be scaling out at 25 personally, but you guys often say I'm quick on the trigger. Leo trying to sing to the rain. SLNO trying to retake 22 here. See how are we doing on Roivant? Roivant rolling back over here. Tell you what, Roivant, if it can break this 1230 area, maybe higher here on Roivant. Yeah, Dave, that's kind of what I was saying. I can't handle it. I mean, say what you will about me. I don't like that much volatility. It's just it doesn't. I never do well with it. I never do well with it. Moving higher here, 2250 on SLNO. Yeah, Smoke Tuna, I got my eye on Roivant here too. In fact, let's take a look. This is kind of what I'm waiting for here. Let me zoom in a little bit. Kind of getting set up here and trade the pool. Would love for this to really kind of come back in. The bottom price that we have here is exactly 12. We're only 4 cents away from that. Would love to see this come into the VWAP. Maybe 1207. Well, might as well try something here today, right? Let's try it. I'm going to try a little bit of Roivant here. 1206 starter position of just 100 shares. We'll see if we can grab this. Sorry, Jay, for buying that at market, but it really wasn't moving around or spread. So we'll probably add if this comes to the VWAP, but if it drops much below VWAP, 1184-ish, we're going to be out. And we're coming in here. We're coming right to that VWAP. Touched it there. Let me see if we get filled another 100 shares here. Yeah, I'm trying to wait and see if it bounces here, Tuna. If it doesn't, we're going to be out. We're going to have a real tight stop in this. We're only down $8 here. BFRG moving back towards the highs. 13. Good to see you this morning. Can't believe you're trading this quick in and out in at 22.68, out at 24.67. Great trade there. Roivant has warrants, Sydney. Interesting. Okay, we're breaking down here though. We gotta be very careful here. The spot here, let me actually just go ahead and set it. We've got that at 1184. Let me go ahead and set that in here. Let's go ahead and make this the full position size. You know what? We're gonna use Mitch's suggestion here for the stop limit. There we go. We'll use Mitch's suggestion. So here we go. That is our line in the sand. Let's see if we can bounce here. 200 shares long. First buy was a little bit higher. Second buy was right there at the VWAP. We'll see if Roivant bounces from this spot. If it doesn't, we'll be out here. We'll take a paper cut loss. Now that we have the setup here, let's go ahead and start checking in on some other names here. Femi, another bounce here on Femi. God, this little wild move here, but man, this was a good bounce. This is what we're hoping for, by the way, on Roivant. We're hoping for a candle just like this. Let's see if we get it here. Femi moving, obviously no position here on Femi. That moving nicely here. SLNO 23. BFRG coming back into the VWAP, by the way. Let's see if Femi can get above this. 123, that spot here on Femi. We'll see if we get above it. SLNO rolling over now, or it looks like it's going to. Still looking around here, folks. Here, let's go back to the scanner here. IMVT, this also pulled back at the same time. You guys were talking about BFRG. Stuck here. AVTX, this was that penny stock we talked about. After that bounce, really, really weak, actually set new lows there. Veru, remember when we were trading Veru when this was in the 12s? 85 cents now. I remember I got made fun of for scalping this from like 6 to 650 by someone saying, oh my God, it's worth so much more than that. And here we are at 85 cents. That's how it goes. SLNO still holding in here, trying. Looks heavy though. Femi trying to push through. That did push through that one spot here, up to 130 now on Femi. Boy, this one moving. 13. Nice little trade there in Femi. Love it. Rick, actual entry on SLNO 1927, out at 23.27. Not quite 3K profit. Love your comments. Couldn't wait for the 25. Took what I could. Dude, if you just took off 3K profit on a trade that didn't even take you an hour to be in, you good, bro. That is a great trade. Great stuff there. At least someone hit it. Market new lows here, by the way. New lows here on the market. Still looking around here. Femi looks like it stopped there. FSR, this grinding a little bit higher here. What did we get halted here? SLNO halted to the downside, 2050. SLNO halted to the downside. Wiss taking 30% off Femi. Great trade, my man. Great trade, dude. And real quick here, Born, really appreciate this. 426, your next level here on the SPY. Let me bring up the SPY. We selling off here. Here you go. So, oh man, look at this. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Well, I'm doing all types of misclicking here. So here, let me reset this. There we go. So I've got for the on the daily chart here, I have the 200 EMA puts us at 425.50. Born, you're saying 426, that next spot there. SPY hitting the first trend line we discussed in happy hour. I gotta say, the charting job done by 13 in the happy hour, it's something we check in on every day. Straight up great. I don't have that screenshot handy to share right here, but I actually, let's see if it lines up with one of the things that I have in here. Here we go. No, I don't have your trend lines 13, but what I can say here is that this 426 level that Born was just talking about, that we already marked off here on the chart. SS Trade's just a monster. Nice trade. You guys are great. Femi halted. Looks like, let me go. There's a lot happening here, folks. There's a lot happening here. I'm sorry I'm a little slow today. Could really use my co-pilot today. Femi, big pull into a downside halt. Becca calling Roblox. Ooh, Roblox. Actually, it's looking like this is trying to go higher here in the face of the market too. Interesting. Okay. Okay. Let me flip back. Let me see where we're. Oh, I think all I have to do is this, right? Yes, sir. Let's flip back here to trade the pool. Okay, so Roy Vant. So again, let's just kind of discuss where we're at. We don't know if the trade's going to work yet, but let's discuss where we're at. Remember, we added first right around this first line here, just a little bit above it. We added small. Candle came into the VWAP. We added again. Now we broke a little bit beneath the VWAP, but we held the intraday low. We didn't quite get down there. We held that. Now it looks like we're kind of drifting back up. Would love to see a move through 12 and then maybe a move at this 1220 high. That would be great for us. Our average price at this point with the ad 1202. So we're 1 cent underwater here. Would love to see Roy Vant start pushing now. Tuna, we talked earlier about this showing weakness. That weakness, at least for the time being, seems to have abated. The weakness looks like it was linked to these two sell candles. These two sell candles started to hit at about 12.10, so higher than the price where we're at now. Let's see if we can move through that into that 12.20. That actually might be decent. We actually might be able to get a winner here on Roivant. Let's see. Let me roll through the chat here again. Got some notice, some exchanges. They're halting Femi trades. Yes, Femi, I believe it's just a circuit breaker. While we're waiting on Roivant, we will check Femi. Oh, Femi, that's right. It's still halted. I just said it. Come on, Ryan, wake up. Wake up. Oh, you guys, BFRG. BFRG. This was the pop. This was the pop that was setting up today. Biggest volume stick of the day through that high here. BFRG. If you didn't take it on this, I'd scale out here now. BFRG, nice move. For all of you that caught that, BFRG, nice. Ricky Bobby. Love the handle. Do you wake up and piss excellence, man? That is awesome, Ricky Bobby. Great handle. Great handle. ADPT. I don't really see a whole lot. Maybe ADPT on a curl here. Roivant trying to go. Let's go, Roivant. Kano, that penny stock. Oh, that kind of rolled back over. Polestar to the highs here. SLNO open, moving towards a 20 handle on SLNO. Oh, we need to do this. Sorry, doing some deep breathing exercise right there. Come on, Roivant. Let's push higher here so we can actually get some green on the screen today, baby. All right, Roivant. Let's see. Are we going to roll over here? Yep, came back in a little bit. SLNO. Let's go check on that real quick. Here's Polestar. Polestar still at the highs here. SLNO looked like it was going to break that 20 handle. Trying to hold on here for dear life on SLNO. What just happened? Wait a second.
No fear. Money Mitch is here.
Mitch, you said you weren't showing up today. See, this is why we don't have to cancel this. I'm in. I haven't closed any trades yet. I'm in one. I'm in it kind of small. We'll see what happens.
Battles.
Got to shout out the chat here today, though. Not only did they help me with the show, but we are smoking some winners out of this market here today.
That's what I love to hear, baby.
People making multiple thousands of dollars on the SLNO. Absolutely great stuff. The entire chat has been active here, calling stuff here today. Carmen with Bullfrog that just went. We're having a day. I'm glad you showed up, Mitch.
Hell
actually,
yeah.
Now that you're here, can I please go to the bathroom?
Of course. I was here to get you a nice little break, my man, Ryan. We'll get after it here. I'm getting my trade to pull up and ready to get to some trading action. Of course, I had a quick little doctor's visit to kind of get in, but hey, we got it in already. Now we can go ahead and take a look to see what we can trade today. Yesterday, really nice trades on ARM. Killed it. Had a 200 plus day yesterday, close to 300. We traded Deer. We traded TQQQ to the upside. We traded ARM to the upside. Let's take a look at what's going on right now. In downside action we go. And so a little part of me was thinking yesterday that the max pain today would have actually been to wash out the bulls. And I think that's what you're getting right here. So you might get a red to green move as we get into like kind of 10:30. And so I'm going to look to see if some stocks can come back. But right now, I think you're washing out all those traders that got way too long, way too quickly. And look how Nvidia is starting to work its way back now and has gone red to green. So I'm actually going to start looking for SOXL to maybe have a reversal here and get back to the upside. I wanted to test one more time to 1750s and then start making its way back to 1785, 1795s. This is something we can keep a lookout for. Maybe Apple can be on the watch. I'm going to show you guys the SOXL trade right now, but taking a look at that outlook that pretty much I had before the market opened, right? I wasn't watching this action, but I can tell you guys right now, we're bouncing off of this 750 level multiple times. I'm kind of liking this SOXL reversal back to the upside here. I just want one more test to like at least 1755s and then a quick move through 1765. We'll look to see if the market comes back. Right now, I see everything in the red, right? And that's an important outlook. Only thing in the green is communication services. There's SOXL starting to work its way back. This is what I was looking for, reversals later in the day, washing out some bulls at the gates. And then now I'm going to look for the market to actually get back towards green. Financial services going into the green. Healthcare looks like it wants to go to the green. Area to look for in there is, of course, biotechs. Biotech's pulling back now, so take a look at that, like XBI, IBB, definitely areas that kind of keep an eye out for. So IBB is one that I'm looking at right now. It's been washed out the last couple of days, just pulled back below the VWAP. 122.50s would be the risk here. I actually don't mind this outlook here off of kind of 70s to 50s, looking for a move back up towards 123.37, which would be about 60 cents higher. So risk about 20 cents for 60 cents. That seems to make sense in my book here. I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit of IBB. Just took a little bit there long right now off of 174. Also going to take a look at SOXL for reversal action. I've talked about that one. It's already doing that reversal action. So the only way I can get it now is to pull back below VWAP. 1765 is the area that I'll be looking for. Boom. Coming at it hot, baby. Let's get it.
I was going to say, Mitch, you came in hot today. That was awesome.
You know what the important part there is, right? Is I had an outlook before the market, and now what am I doing? I'm taking a look at the price action, and it's kind of going with that outlook, which was wash out the green traders of yesterday and then come back on the day. Why? The psychology loves to hurt the most. What happened yesterday? The most came in bearish, then the minority started going super long and thinking, oh, I got the excellent turn. Then it washes those guys out right here at the open. And then what happens? The bears come back in thinking they have it really easy. So this is the type of trade that can hurt both sides. The bulls of yesterday and the bears of like the last couple of days. That's what I'm thinking about it. Jason talking about the market likes to hurt where it can hurt the most, right, Mitch? Yeah. That's one of the conversations that always keeps me a little bit safe there. Mitch sent Ryan those suggestions for live trading you wanted. Awesome. I'm definitely going to take a look at that action and take a look at all the messages that you guys wrote. We'll catch up and I'll tell Ryan also those feedbacks. And we'll also have a little meeting, Ryan and I, on how we can always make improvements. At the end of the day, we do this for you guys out there. That's why we have Trade the Pool. Also, you guys see Gil in the chat. He's here to help you guys just the same way that Ryan and I are, right? So if you guys have any questions, platform, process related, or anything that you guys just want to talk about trading, you got Gil in the chat, you got me right here, and of course, my man Ryan Faloona in the house. Anytime you got a question on the markets, that's what we're here for, guys. Let's get after it. Let's see what we can do today. IBB going a little bit in the red there for me. It's okay as long as it can hold 122.50s. I can look for pullbacks towards that level to maybe do an add there. I'm also looking for pullbacks on SOXL. And I could look for ARM to stay strong. You see how it went red to green? I think you might get another move in ARM today. I'm probably not going to trade it today, but I'm looking for this to kind of drive NVIDIA. And look at SOXL since I've talked about it, guys. It was almost like they knew that I was getting here. And SOXL was like, all right, Money Mitch is here. Time to make that money, man. Let's see what happens. Because SOXL is starting to move up and starting to get that lift. And I think keep watch on leaders like NVIDIA. Look at this. This tells me enough, right? Look how NVIDIA is ripping to the upside above pre-market high. That gives me the outlook that maybe we can turn tech around. Look at Microsoft deep into the red. Maybe this could reverse. How's Apple doing here? Apple's deep into the red. So some of the bigger names are dragging right now. And I'm going to look to see if those can go into the green. Nvidia's the big name that is green right now. And so is Meta above VWAP. These other ones are struggling, and they're struggling pretty bad. Let's see if those can come back. Like Oracle's struggling, down almost 2%. And so let's see if these can really start pushing. Meta is one that is strong. So we can maybe look to see if that can stay strong. You can see how it's trying to recover back through 300. Let's see if it gets to that level. All right. What you got, my friend?
I was just taking a look at the Roivant trade here. We did actually pop off this VWAP. We are going higher here on Roivant. This is the only open trade that I have. Had it small, Mitch, just because I was focusing on so many things here. Would really like to see Roivant trade up another 15 cents here at least. Would love to see this get to the 12.20. At this point now, just because I was going to say I'm going to put a stop here at break even. I mean, we're so close to it. I feel like it might just get taken here. You know what? I am going to do that. I'm going to move the stop loss up to break even. That way we can't possibly lose on the trade. It really hasn't moved. So if it's going to work, it's going to work. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Solar names bouncing today, and so that tells me maybe energy eventually gets the lift. I'm keeping an eye on XOM, names like that, to see if oil can bounce here. It is pulling back to a significant level. Let's see if it comes back to the resistance or breaks through support on like a stock like XOM. Keeping an eye out there, guys. You guys see if you guys see anything moving? Yeah,
13. I mean, maybe. I mean, this is the right thing to do tactically. Realistically, I've got 200 shares and I'm up a whopping $9. At this point, we'll just say forget the position. It's either going to move higher here or I'm going to be stopped out flat. It is what it is.
And believe it or not, those smaller kind of pharmaceutical names are a lot of the reason why I took the IBB long here, right? And so I want to see this get back to the green. A good way to kind of keep your eyes on the action here will also be XBI. XBI has more exposure to those names, and I actually went with the slower mover, which is IBB, but XBI actually looks also good here. So I'd take a look to see if that could make new highs. You see how it's holding in here? XBI, let's see if it goes back through 74.20s is going to be an important outlook to kind of catch.
BFRG moving to the highs here, by the way. So BFRG, of course, not in trade the pool, but this one moving higher here. 410. Is that the spot? Yeah, 410 here is the spot. We'll see if we take this off. High from the pre-market was 437. 437 there. So there's still some room to that high. We took out 410 here. BFRG just absolutely rolling here today. Rolling.
All right. What else you guys got out in the chat there? BFRG. Yeah, that one's been rolling.
BFRG, that's been the big one here today.
That's the monster winner there. Stoxel pulling back a little bit here. I needed to go back to 1765 if I want to take a shot on that. So I'll keep looking for it to kind of pull back, but no pullback yet. At least made some really good money yesterday, so don't want to like lose all that gains from the week, right? I made over 200, close to 300 yesterday, so just going to keep pushing, guys. ARM, Deer, and TQQQ, that's how I made that yesterday. All three trades went in the green, just to kind of mention it. And they were all 3-to-1 outlooks. That's one thing that I'm doing a little bit better on is not thinking about expanding 3-to-1 outlooks, just taking it. Like, I hit it. That's the 3-to-1. Take it off the table. A lot of my trades have come back to break even, and I've realized like I can't be doing that. Just got to take the 3-to-1 and keep moving. DraftKings had a
DraftKings was one of the hot stocks from Trade the Pool this morning. DraftKings, Baba, and Tesla.
Yeah,
I love that you're back because I made a joke about you not being here and that being one of the moving stocks here today. So I like that you came back.
You see, man, you can't speak too loud. Something always goes on out there, and there's always something else in the market. We'll see what happens. NCLH, big bounce back today. Not too bad.
Jay,
I still am not touching these, but
Jay,
it's interesting to see.
Jay, right here, dude. Ryan didn't go anywhere. He's right here. Gil saying big L's for me, guys. I don't know if you mean losses or if you mean big lots, maybe a ticker or something of that nature. I don't know, Gil.
Oh,
If it
we'll
is,
hope it's big lots, but hopefully it's not the other one.
But if it is big losses for today, that just goes to show you that that is part of the game. No matter who you are, tough day, but that's part of the game. Exactly the point that I was trying to make there.
Exactly.
Just to show you, everyone takes losses. Don't let that stop you from your end goal.
Yeah, and the real key there is always going back and realizing, are we going to different sizing? How's our net P&L doing? The outlook? These are all the type of things that I think you need to be thinking about when you look back at trading. I don't think it's necessarily good to look at trading as wins and losses, right? It's not about like, oh, that was a winning trade, that was a loss trade, but look at the statistical results. How's my process? Am I keeping a mathematical advantage in my favor? These are the types of things that I always ask traders when they're struggling. I ask, so what's your profit and loss ratio? What accuracy do you need to be profitable? This is all questions that you need to have the answer to. So if you don't have the answer to that question, maybe you need to take a look at it, right? And so what I mean by that, to me, 3-to-1 outlook, if I'm trading at a 3-to-1 outlook, if I'm 40% accurate, I'm in the green, baby. And that's not even 50%, right? So you need to be thinking about things like this. For the traders that trade 1-to-1, let's say for that, right? That type of trade. Well, guess what? For 1-to-1 trading, you're going to need to be 80% to 90% accurate for you to end up into the green a lot of the times. And so what you got to do is think about that. How accurate do I need to be with my mathematical advantage to stay in my favor? Need to know your batting average. 100%. What's your batting average?
You know Mitch loves the baseball references, okay? You know that when you drop a baseball reference, Mitch is going to take it.
Yeah, especially, I mean, Jason, I play baseball, right? I'm thinking the same thing. I'm trying to be 40% accurate, and if I can hit 400, baby, I'm a killer trader, right? I'll take that. Best Buy crossing down here and starting to get hit. This actually looks like a short for me. So I'm looking at this like a short. It's already coming down. I just got an alert there through the 69.40s. I want to get short here at 69.50s on any pullbacks, but I kind of like this for the short side action. And this will tell me that, hey, be careful for consumer facing stocks to see them go another leg lower. So names like that, you got to be really careful on today. I'd be watching out for another down move like Macy's. ENF is one that I've been looking to maybe get short. That was green yesterday. It's green today. This looks like, for me, something to maybe come after and try to tackle it on the day, just because I'm starting to see the weakness in certain spaces. So I'm looking at that action. ANF, who knows? Maybe I come after that. Abercrombie and Fitch.
Abercrombie.
Yeah, I just
Bullfrog
I
pulling back to the VWAP here, by the way. Bullfrog pulling back to the VWAP.
Got you. I'll put you up for that.
No, this is Roy Vant. This is the trade and trade the pool. This is working though.
Okay.
I know 13. You were saying this is heavy here. We almost there. Let's see if we can get here and maybe through. If we can, great. We can close this and move on. This is a little bit of a slower trader here today, but so far it's working.
All right, so big resistance above it towards 53. This looks like a head and shoulders pattern. So I'm going to look for the takedown back through 52 to get short some ANF. If it goes up higher from here, that's okay. So what I'm going to do is probably set a stop with a stop limit order at that 52, maybe 51.98 to get short on the downside action. Right now is not the time, but if it turns around, I definitely want to get in it. We'll see if the market turns around today. That could be another factor, right? Playing in here. Look at the SPYs trying to make its way back. The Qs are making their way back. SOXL is just holding VWAP, looking like it wants to take the next leg up. IBB going back to the green here. Came back. I had an order out to add. It never hit my add order of 122.48. Now back up through my entry here, 122.75. I can go ahead and just cancel the ad. Now I want to go ahead and hold towards that 122.50. Know exactly where my risk is. I'll do it towards like 46 to give myself a little bit of room. $28 on the downside outlook. I'm looking for at least what? 3-to-1 outlook. So that's going to be what? At least need to make like closer towards 70s, 80s on this profit. If I could get this down to $20 of risk, that's going to be a risk towards like 122.54. Then I could take 60, right? These are the types of things that I think about, right? So if I'm risking 20, I need to make 60 and take it when he gets there. Not get to 60 and then be like, oh no, but I want 75. I need to keep the mathematical advantage in my favor. Wilson wants Mitch.
I liked your first call of Rawlings.
Hey, you guys know it.
Rawlings.
One day,
I mean,
one
that's
day.
a blast from the past right there.
Yeah, I use I like Marucci for bats. Those are probably the best bats out there, at least for kids out there. Marucci's it's pretty good company. All right, what else is going on in the chat there? I'm seeing some people looking for Apple to crash.
Well, Apple had a really weak morning, Mitch. I mean, tech pretty much all morning. Jay did a really great job outlining that. Tech's been weak all morning. Apple was pounding the lows earlier. Now the Qs are putting in a bounce here, but they were weak out of the gate for the first part of the market.
Yeah, I think you're going to start seeing some people try to play maybe reversals off that. You can see Apple right now, inverse head and shoulders on the 5-minute. Let me add the 5-minute here because I've been trying not to go to the 5-minute, but I usually have it on the side here. And so I'll show you guys that. So let me add this to my favorites here. Boom. So I can show you guys the 5-minute outlook on Apple and how that looks like an inverse head and shoulders. So you can see here, right? What do you see? Well, you guys see the head action is right here. The left shoulder is right here. Trying to draw this up. I know that we've been talking about doing more strategy. That was one comment that we did get. Well, here you guys have it. So this is what we call a head and shoulders pattern, right? So what do we look for? We look for it to break the neckline. These are only going to work if they're at the bottom of the trend, and they are on the intraday, right? So things like this is what I look for. Break the neckline. The neckline's a close above this. So a close on this 5-minute candle above that 173 will show me that Apple wants to attempt towards this resistance. And this is the next spot to look at, right? Is right here. This 173.45. Maybe you want to round that up to 173.50. But that's going to be the resistance that I want to see it eventually get above and hold on pullbacks. If Apple's really going to go back above VWAP around the 173.50s, I have 173.56 on mine. Then we can start really working back towards the resistance, 173.50s, get above that, go back there towards the opening price is going to be very important. Opening 174.84.
Real quick, just to update the Roivant trade here. I took the stop and moved it up to 1220. So we got that spot that we really wanted. We're going to stay exposed in case there's a continued upside move to the 1229 high, maybe even a pop above that. However, while doing that, remember our stop loss started the day here at this trade at 1184. When we got the movement we wanted, we moved the stop up to break even to make sure we don't give back any of the money on this trade. Now that we've taken the next leg up, we're again moving our stop up. Now we're going to book gains here for sure. Hopefully we get another push here to the 1229. We'll readjust the stop there and we'll just keep moving the stop up as we get these legs in accordance with our trading plan. So far this is working. We'll see where we end up finishing this trade, but we talked earlier about removing emotion. I got no emotion for this trade now. We were down early on it, very little. The size is really nothing huge, so it's really easy to kind of just hold it. And now we're moving our stop loss up to ensure that we end up booking gains here. So we're doing all right here in Roivant. Time to start looking for another play here. I know we're running out of time. Got about 15 minutes left here. We'll see if we get something.
Yeah, I'm getting really close to like at least for like the biotech situation here. And one of those that can tell me it is SLNO, right? And so you can see how it's had 3 attempts to get through the highs. I'll show you guys that right now. And then, so what does that tell me? One more attempt. It's either going to go or no go, at least in my outlook. And so you can see here, what do you see here, guys? You see a push up, a pull back, right? A push up, a pull back. What do I see here? I see multiple attempts to try to break into this 24 range, right? Now we need to see if we're going to make that attempt to 23 and actually clear 24 on a close. You can see how these wicks, there's no actual close above 23, even though you even got to 25 here.
Yeah.
So that tells me something, right? I need to see a close above 23 if this is really going to push to the next level. If not, it could be a takedown, even back to $10. So that would definitely get me out of the IBB trade. So we'll see what happens here. I'm in one of the trades here. I don't want to overload. One thing could also be, and I need to kind of get better at taking this type of trade. I don't do it now, but maybe like pairs trading here, or going long and short, maybe one of the XBIs or one of these biotech names. Just a way to think about a different strategy.
Let's see if Roivant comes into the stop here. Bullfrog trying to flag and trade sideways right above its VWAP. See what ends up happening with Bullfrog right there, but still waiting on the Roivant trade here. Dave, regarding, you were just talking about SLNO there a little bit, Mitch. Dave saying SLNO could easily just go sideways for the rest of the day too. That's kind of what I see here.
Yeah, I think this stock
Bullfrog breaking down, sorry.
I think this stock got a lot of volume in the pre-market and then just kind of died off towards the open. So I'm looking to see, when does the volume come back in? The last time it popped was that move to 25. So back below 20s, I would actually be careful on this one myself, because I feel like it could crack towards like 17. And I don't know about you guys, but there's not many times I get into a stock that I can risk that amount. That's 14%. So that's my biggest thing. That's why I don't trade these too, right? Because to me, this is too much risk here. Like 14% on the downside. I don't want to lose 14% on just about anything. I very much, I think my worst loss this year is like a 10% loss, and that's over 10% on American Airlines. And that was just recent. I don't like to take big losses, especially percentage wise.
Hey, real quick, let's go back to mine here.
Let's do it. Tell me what's up.
Roivant, we popped through that level that we were looking at. So we did exactly what we talked about. We placed that stop at 12.29. If this comes back through 12.29, we will stop out with a gain there. Otherwise, if we push higher, we will still have exposure here. Roivant, this trade working. Let's see where we go from here. Smoke Tuna, you're saying this is Roivant's last move. Oh, so I'm stopped out of it. Okay, so it did come back down to 12.29. We stopped out, made 54 bucks on that. 52 after fees. Got some green on the screen here today. Honestly, it was fairly easy based on the plan, right? Like we did a really good job being patient and being tactical here, right? So bought, maybe you could argue it was a little too early on that first buy, but that's hindsight telling us this looked like this might have just bounced here. We did it small in case it continued to move lower. We did move lower to the VWAP, added again there, and set a stop at low of day in case it continued to break down. It ended up not doing that. Once it moved back through the VWAP, we just kind of used the VWAP as support, and this was our trade here. So not bad. That fairly easy, easy trade here. I wasn't ever holding my mouse over the close button, right? I didn't really need to be quick about it. We just let this trade work. It ended up working. We move on.
I like it. I like it. Looking around, guys, seeing different areas, right? Like what's getting the takedown today. Utilities. Technology is still red overall from the open. So I'm looking to see if we can recover that open, because recovering that open is going to be very important if you want the bulls to come back and control here. So it looks like Microsoft and Google still lagging pretty good amount here. Keep an eye out on those, because if those go another leg lower, I don't think it's going to be able to hold. Look at Apple do an attempt towards that pattern that we just drew just a while ago here. I'll show you guys that. And so you can see how it attempts to go back to what? The trend line. This is what we call a throwback look, right? So you got above that, but where did we close? What did I talk about? Be careful not seeing a close above 173.50, because that's the level of resistance that we need to see become support. What happened? We wicked through there and come right back down. That's easily how, like, say, if you were short, you probably got stopped out on that wick, and then the trade comes right back down. So now what I'd be looking for is this not to break 172.50 on downside action, hold like around this 172.80s, 172.90s, yet close back towards 173. In about a minute, I'll be looking for that action. I usually look for 5-minute actions to start going back to green about 2.5 minutes into the next candle. This is just like a little tip that I look at. You guys can maybe take a look at this to see if it works for you.
By the way, while Mitch was talking there, we'll see if this ends up happening. While Mitch is talking there, while Mitch was talking there, took a little Femi on this move up here, took just a couple of hundred shares. Open price was 114. So I want to see if Femi can push here. We're going to have a real tight stop, probably put this right under the VWAP. Stop at 110. Let's go ahead and put that in there. Oh, you know what? We'll use this thing to do it, Mitch. We've been practicing with this little tool here, so
yeah. Someone's asking me about what happened to my small account challenge. I ended up closing it in the green, up 22%. So I ended up closing that account, but got it to 22% up. So it really was a good challenge overall, a great way to test myself. And you guys see me testing myself now on Trade the Pool.
My small account, I actually still have it open. The only thing I have are those free grab shares that I was awarded for guessing. Everything else is in cash. I think I ended up finishing up fractionally. I think the starting balance was 500. I think I finished with like $520, $530. I said when I said going into that, small account challenges are something I really, really struggle with. It was cool that we were able to do that. By the way, I think Roivant just hit highs of the day.
All right, IBB starting to get to the green there for me. Pull back to 70. I'll add and looking for this to get to 123s and above. It's starting to get into my favor. IBB, guys, IBB. Let's see if those biotech names. Remember how I told you right now that maybe I'd see SLNO go off or some of those other tech names or those biotechs that you guys are looking at right now. I'm in IBB essentially on that trade. Let's take a look at some of those. SLNO. Let's see if this can reverse and come back towards 23. Or we could look at some other ones. I know that you're looking at some of those and you guys have been trading some of those that are ROIV. Look at that.
That's the one I just traded.
That looks pretty, man. That looks like it can keep going.
Exactly. I got stopped out on the way back in, but that was just for booking gains here. You know what's funny, Mitch, is that at the beginning part of that trade, there were multiple instances where it looked heavy and it just simply didn't roll over and set new highs.
Yeah. And I think that's important to kind of catch that outlook, right? I mean, this is pretty, man. I always like outlooks like this, right? And I think that it's important to kind of catch moves like this, guys. This is rule of 3 coming into play, as good as it gets, and then going higher. And then what does it do? We just talked about it. What are throwback looks? Throwback looks are when you go through a trend line and you come back to test that trend line. When you come back and you close above it on the test. So look here, guys, how this ends up actually coming back to that. When you broke out at the open, right? You went above 12s. You went all the way up to 1226. You came back below 12 towards the low here is 1184, but you close at 1206. That recovery of 12 is so vital. That's when the buyers really step up. That's when you start seeing this get up there. It gives you a nice little breakout. Some of the algos probably selling on the first rip, and then buying more as it went back to 12, and then this took the next leg. That's exactly how I see that chart.
And that's pretty much how I traded it, right? We took it on the way back in after that initial move. It continued to move lower. We added a little bit at the VWAP because it didn't break down. We had our spots lined, and then look what happened. It moved back up towards the highs. We're able to add lower dollar cost average and then close it at the highs.
Love it. Love the trade, love the outlook, love the profit take. I mean, yeah, you can keep runners on, but we just talked about it. How for at least for me also, it's been making more sense just to take that gain.
You know, and Mitch, you weren't here right at the beginning, but one of the things that I was showing with some of the stocks that were moving, SLNO was one of them, was that in fact, if you pull that up here on your chart there, Can you do that? Yeah, there you go. Okay, can you go to a 1 minute chart? I think you have a 5 minute there. If you go to
Yeah,
the 1 minute,
I
you'll
can. I
see.
just gotta add it here. Here it is.
Oh, okay. If you back out and go to that pre-market, let me show you what I was taking a look at. You can see every time SLNO would push up, you see how here, let me go.
Okay,
Just go to
I got you. I got you. You can show it on whichever
I'm
one.
so confused, dude. I was doing it on your chart. You pulled it up. I was
Oh,
doing it on your chart, and you took it
I
away
could have.
from me. Okay,
I don't
it's
know.
okay.
You explained it.
It's okay. Every time SLNO pushed up, it came back in. Pushed up, came back in. Pushed up, came back in. Pushed up, came back in. Every time it did that, it did the same thing. So there were two things that we learned from that. One, probably better off buying the pullbacks than the break because it likes to pull back every time. And two, if you get gains in it, take them. If you get gains in it, it's often going to pull back. You'll probably get another chance to reload if you have to. Get the gains, book the gains, go from there. That's what we did. By the way, Femi pushing away now. Femi pushing away now. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the exact here. Let me go back to, let me get rid of this. Oh, no, never mind. It came back in.
I like how on the SLNO, you got a lot of volume to come in at 20. So I'd look for that $20 to hold now. That looks like an undercut and rally because you got a shit ton of volume to come in here and mind my language, but I kind of have to call it when I see it. When volume moves from like 64,000 there towards like 150,000 in a very important spot, look for those types of things. They could be good signs. All right. Crow, where to find those freebies? Just go out in the woods, man.
Yeah, I think he's talking about mushrooms.
Yeah, it's legal in Denver.
Do they grow wild just in the forest out there?
Yeah, dude. That's how you.
Dude,
well,
okay. So here's the thing.
So forest, you got to be a little bit careful, right? I would say that.
But I just said forest. There's probably a correct term.
No. I mean, you're completely right. It's just that when you're in the forest, you're going to deal with a lot of different types of mushrooms. So you might want to know what the hell you're doing before you kill yourself or kill somebody.
Okay, I shouldn't laugh when Mitch says that. Please know what you're doing. Don't go killing yourself or anybody else, for heaven's sakes.
Yeah, like that's the key there, right? And I mean, the real way that a lot of people go out searching for them is yes, it's in your local moo poop or cow poop, if you want to call it. That's usually where a lot of you'll get your common mushrooms. But like always, guys, just be safe out there and deal with people that go into the woods and do this on an every day. You can find really good, even here in the Smoky Mountains. There's a lot of chantilly mushrooms that are, some of the best in the world. So check it out, guys.
Yeah, I did not see a mushroom picking guide. I did not have that on my bingo card for what we were going to do here today, but happy that we did it.
Who knows? We'll see. Wisdom said, I just gave my best advice ever. All right. At least I'm giving good advice here, guys.
Yeah, real quick, Mitch, I can't figure out how to get the...
I got you, man. I'll get you up right now. What you want? Which one you want?
The trade the pool.
I got you, man. We just changed screens there for a second.
All right. So the Femi trade, we did make an adjustment. Instead of setting a stop loss, we actually moved the stop up to 1 cent above the buy. So it's impossible to lose money on the trade here. Really what we want to see is, now that we're kind of just in this area, we really want to see 119. Want to see 119 break and then another pop, and then we can go about maybe even moving up a stop or closing it. But for right now, we're just putting it out there. Nope, stopped out. So there you go. Femi ended up not working. The one of the reasons why I'm setting that stop, if you look at the action here on Femi, look at how many pulls we got and how aggressive those pulls were. I don't want to be a part of that. Even if this stops me out and then goes, that's part of the game. I really don't want to be holding anything through a candle that looks like this.
All right, guys, up about like 14 cents on the name, and just going to keep holding in here. Really don't want it to come back down towards like 122.60s. So it's about like a 14-cent risk. Really want it to get back through 123s on IBB, and IBB is still looking good right now. As you can see, it's starting to climb, right? This is the 1 minute. I'm going to get out of the 1 minute because, of course, it's going to draw my emotions a little bit too much. I've been trying not to be in 1 minute charts, as it can create a lot more emotions, and looking for this to get back towards resistance, even a move like, let's say, back into 123.30s. would be a pretty good outlook here. If I risk about $20 to get 56, I'll take it too, right? Like, it doesn't need to be exactly 3-1, just as close to that as possible so that I can keep mathematical advantage in my favor. And wouldn't you know it, guys, look at SLNO now starting to get a little bit of a move here. Let's see if this can push back through 23s and actually close above on a 5-minute basis above 24s would be a monster move here. We'll find out.
SLNO.
Yeah, that's going to do it for us, guys. It's 11 a.m. I'm going to wrap it up here. And, of course, keep trying to trade IBB. I'll keep coming after it, team, but we're going to go ahead and wrap up the day. I hope you guys enjoyed Ryan sticking around for you guys, being here for helpful, the family. Man. And that's what it's all about, guys. At the end of the day, we're a big family here at Benzinga. You guys are a part of it. Everybody that joins is a part of it. And anybody that wants to continue helping and supporting each other is going to be a part of it. So always good to see you guys out there. Definitely, of course, check out Trade the Pool. I'm going to make sure that at least we threw up that link for you guys once.
Yeah, you know what? I'm sorry. I probably didn't do the reads that I was supposed to do. I did not throw the link. Let's make sure we get that up here. Gil's out here helping us. We talked about it.
There you guys know. And always look in the description below if you want to know a little bit more about Trade the Pool. You guys can always find it there. I'm throwing it up in the chat right now. And definitely hit the link there. I'll go ahead and I'll even pin it to the top there for you guys. Go ahead and check out more than 12,000 stocks and ETFs. And even Hendrix hit the keyboard there. So he said, I'll take some Trade the Pool action. We'll see what's going on in the market. Always, like always, keep battling, team. We never know what's going to happen. And yes, Biden is in Detroit. We'll see what happens if we're able to see some movement on the UAW news or those automakers. But be safe out there. All day here, getting your support, whether it be a little bit of some mushroom talk, a little bit of some stocks. Much love to Gil in the chat. Always good to see you guys. Hit those likes before you get out of here. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up. You guys should have some Benzinga Live coming up next, AB. Hit that like. I'm going to keep trading, guys. Like always, if you're not subscribed already, what the hell are you waiting for? Hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the bell so you can be notified the moment we go live. And we'll be here, like always, right here